Welcome to Dugout Discussions with the Coach. I'm your host, Todd Scott Miller. With me today is a friend from like high school, physics class especially. He's still pissed off about a test I got 100 on from a teacher who doesn't give hundreds. So, but hey, what can I say? Anyway, welcome Dorann Jackson, and we're going to talk a little bit about life and things he's got going on and changes he's making and changes he's recently made. So anyway, Dorann, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you.
Thank you, Todd.
Man, I haven't talked to you in years. We had lunch a few weeks ago.
Yeah, but before that, it was about 30 years.
Yeah, about 30 years. Man, God.
Three-piece.
You're getting old.
Yes, I am.
Man. So we talked, and one of the things we talked about was after high school, you went to the Navy. What did you do?
No. After high school, I went to A&M.
A&M, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, I majored in chemical engineering. I thought I wanted to be an engineer.
Yeah.
All my life, I love math and science, so
Well, you went for the hardest engineering degree, though.
There you go. Always me. Swing for the fences. Go big or go home.
Hey, I think I got some stuff here about that.
I know you do. I know you do, yeah.
So the A&M,
yeah,
chemical engineering.
Chemical engineering.
What did you do after that?
So I changed my major after my third year and went to biochemistry because engineering wasn't for me. And I didn't get a co-op or anything. I didn't do that. Maybe if I would have done that, I would take a different path. But I needed to graduate. So all the credits that I had taken in engineering and chemistry transferred over to biochemistry. So I graduated in 5 years, in 1995. May.
Okay.
I had a baby on the way. My girlfriend was pregnant. Surprise. And I needed to find a way to take care of my family that's going to come regardless of what I was going to do. At that time, I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I knew I had to take care of my family. Didn't have a choice. So the military was the best option. What I actually did first was I went to the Marine Corps. I was going to be an officer. So I actually enrolled in officer candidate program through College Station, and I was trained to be an officer. And so I went to Quantico, Virginia, with the OCS school, and I sprained my ankle in week 5. That was a crazy experience because I had no military background, nothing, no ROTC, nothing. I went in cold. Most of my classmates were prior service. They were already been in the Marines, so they knew what to do. I didn't know anything. I had no frame of reference. And I went through one of the hardest trainings that mentally you can go through in the world to be a Marine Corps officer. I have a lot of respect for them, but it just wasn't for me. But I learned what I needed to learn about leadership in 5 weeks, when it takes everybody else 10 weeks. So I asked to be separated because I didn't want to kill. They were training me to kill, to mentally control a person's mind, to break them down inside and control them, and teach the Marines to basically just react and not question orders and basically kill. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to heal. So when I got hurt in week 5, I saw the Navy corpsmen taking care of us. They seemed more laid back and chilled, and they were compassionate. They weren't like robots like us. We were very rigid. So I like that better. It's like a better fit. Because I feel I'm here to heal, not kill. So I want to go to the Navy. So I asked them if they could separate me. I had a hard time. They wouldn't let me go. But after a week, so we're going to let you go. So I got out of the OCS in Quantico, came back to my family in College Station, got a biology job for a semester, and went into the Navy as a delayed entry program. So I was going to go back to the Navy. They wanted to put me in an officer again, but it's going to take me from my family. They wanted me to basically drive a boat or a submarine, so I didn't want to do that. So I enlisted into the Navy, not officer. I enlisted as an enlisted man. I went in as an E3 because I already had a biochemistry degree. So that's the route that I went. And when I finished boot camp in Great Lakes, I was stationed in San Diego, sunny San Diego. Got my whole family moved out there, and I went to lab school and had a choice between pharmacy tech, x-ray tech, or lab tech. I looked at the coursework. My biochemistry classes were very similar to the clinical chemistry that the lab tech offered, so I became a medical lab technician in the Navy. Spent 1 year in school in San Diego. I graduated April 1998.
98. So when did you go into the Navy?
I joined the Navy in 1996.
96. I tried to get in 96 too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I tried to be an NFO. And,
okay.
I went through the whole program and went up there to Naval Candidates, Naval Recruiting District one day, doing more paperwork because they love paperwork.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there, as they're talking to a guy who wanted to go into the SEALs, and it may have been Dan Crenshaw, who knows? But anyway, they were talking to him about Hell Week, and they're like, Hell Week is a week where you go the entire week with no 4 hours of sleep. Yeah. And I just kind of snickered a little bit, and he goes, what? And I said, I've gone entire semesters with only 4 hours of sleep. And he goes, what are you here for? I said, I'm here for a naval flight officer. He goes, figures. So, but I didn't get in. And then everything was full, and they kind of kicked me out. And they called me next year, the Marine Corps, to try again. But my wife was pregnant. I'm like, nah, I don't want to be away now. I mean, it's like, so. Yeah. So the Navy. So how long were you a lab tech? No.
So in the Navy, I graduated in school from the Navy in 1998 in April. I stayed in another year. I was a lab tech in the Navy for 1 year. I also moonlighted at night and drew blood at one of the local hospitals because my wife wasn't working at the time. I needed to take care of my family, and just that Navy check wasn't enough. So I drew blood at Sharp Hospital in La Mesa, next to El Cajon, where I stayed. So I did that for about a year. Then 1999, about January, got really sick. Fever, chills. My stomach was really distended. It's hard. Felt like I had pulled a muscle, but I could not sleep the whole night. I went in. They took me to the hospital. They couldn't even start the IV because they didn't know how to put it in my vein. I actually had to start my own IV in myself. Crazy, right? My first IV had to put it in myself. So I put it in, and they took me to the hospital, Balboa, San Diego. And they said, we're going to take your appendix out. I passed out. I woke up, and my chief is standing in front of me. He says, you had a tumor. And remember Arnold from Twins? A tumor? That's what I said. A tumor? I said, yeah, I had a tumor. So what they did is they saw that they were going to take the appendix out, and they saw the tumor there. So they opened me all the way up, like a sardine can, and took shavings of it, and did a biopsy, see if it was cancerous or not. It was non-cancerous. It's called a desmoid tumor. 2 days later, they went into surgery, 6.5 hour surgery, and they took it out. It was a 4-pound tumor. Wow. Size of a grapefruit with an orange on top of it. It was 2 lobes, like a snowman. Basically, I had a small baby.
Wow.
And that was 1999. That was January 1999.
So it was like that, having a baby.
It's the most...
And you had to go C-section, too.
I had a C-section, basically. And I couldn't get out of bed anymore. It changed the way I got out of bed from there on. Yeah. They cut all the way across the stomach muscles, abdominal muscles. So when those heal, they don't heal correctly. So from then on, I have to roll out of bed. Like a woman has a C-section, I got to roll out of bed. I got to roll out of bed. I can't just sit up. So it changed my whole anatomy and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't even know you got pregnant. No one told me that.
From birth.
Wow.
Immaculate conception.
It's probably a demon.
Yeah, there you go. And then I went back to the hospital because I started acting a little different. Real friendly, hyper, had a delusional. I went into the hospital. My wife at the time thought it was my medication. So I went back to the hospital, and they put me in a psychiatric ward. About a week later, I was diagnosed with bipolar type 1 disorder.
Oh, wow.
And it changed my life. Nothing was ever the same again. Then the things that happened in my life before started to make sense. Oh, okay. So when I was laying in my rack that time and I was crying the whole night and I woke up, I was the first one to do everything. When I was the last one to do everything in OCS, I was always really slow. But then something happened and I broke down, and basically what I realize now, I got into an episode in OCS, but they didn't know it. They thought I was born again hard. They call it born again hard. We're going to break you down and rebuild you. And then I did everything really fast because with the bipolar type 1 disorder that I had a manic episode, really high. You feel like you're Superman. You're invincible. You have this unbelievable confidence, like you can do anything. no matter what. You're so confident that you can do it that you actually make it happen. So you have so much energy. So I was always the first one doing everything. And I went through Navy boot camp the same way that happened. So all this making sense now. So, but this was like basically my third manic episode when I got diagnosed. But the other two, no one knew what was going on. But now it makes sense. It's a wow. So I kind of fought my diagnosis for a while. And I had an out-of-body experience in a hospital in a psych ward in San Diego. I saw the earth getting really, really tiny. Like I was in space. And I can see the earth in space, and it was getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I felt like I was going to die. I was like, God, I don't want to die. My kids need me. I can't. And God basically told me, he said, all right, you're going to come back. It's Ingram Dorann. You know, your name's going to change. You're going to be different. But you see this right here? You're gonna save the world. I freaked out. I said the world's too big for one person to save. That's too many people. 6 billion people. There's no way one man can touch 6 billion people. So you'll figure it out. Then everything got bright, like a bright light. Pow! Just pop. And I woke up and everybody's standing around me. I've taken out all my IVs, everything. Disconnected. They had to put me back together again. And it took me about 20 years to get to where I am now. That I finally figured it out. What God has told me to do, has called me to do, I've finally figured it out. Yeah. But it took about 20 years to get to this point.
Yeah, really?
Yes.
So before we get there,
okay,
what happened next in the Navy?
All right. They asked me to, is that you want to get a discharge, a medical discharge, you'll get a paycheck for the rest of your life. You'll be taken care of, and your family will be taken care of. Is that what you want? I said, yes. Go ahead and discharge me out. It's an honorable discharge, and I can go to the VA and file a claim and get paid compensation for it. So yeah, let's do it. Let's get out. So I was only in 3.5 years, and so when all this happened, I started going through a divorce. My wife said I was different. You know, I shared information with her that she couldn't handle, and she said, "You're a different person now. I don't know this. It's not the same person I married, so I want to get a divorce." So I finally agreed. So we divorced, and she moved back to Texas, and I moved back a little bit later to Texas, and with my medical discharge and everything. And basically, I moved back in my mom's house in Terra when I was 28 and started all over.
Yeah.
I was going to stay in San Diego, but Mom said, you know, your kids need you here. So I really like it out here, though. She said, no, I'll help you. Come back for your kids. So I went back and stayed with my mom to be close to my kids. But I really loved it in California. I really missed it.
Yeah, it's nice out there, especially in that San Diego area.
San Diego's like air conditioning outdoors.
So, you know, one of the things that when we talked a few weeks ago that struck me about that too is sometimes life changes happen because of life, not because you want it to or you tried to do it or it's something you were desiring. It just kind of happens.
It had anything to do with you. Yeah.
And you got to deal with it.
Regardless.
You got to handle that. So tell me a little bit about that emotion, that thing, that dealing with this life change that happened. You know, first you find out you have a tumor, and then you find out bipolar disorder, the divorce. So all this change is kind of happening, and it's not something you necessarily wanted. It's not something you were trying to do, but it's something you have to deal with. Tell me what you go through in that situation, and then how do you get through it? How do you come out the other side and say, I'm ready to do something now?
Yeah. So everything hit me at once. So it's like taking a bucket of cold water when you come out of a hot shower. Your body's warm, it's used to the temperature, and all of a sudden you get thrown with a bucket of cold water. So it just shocks you because it's coming from everywhere. So you don't know what to do first. So the tumor, I had to deal with that. Well, that was gone. I did the radiation. The marriage was over. Okay, we signed a divorce paperwork. That was done. Those two things were done. Now the hardest part is dealing with this diagnosis, this bipolar disorder. what does this mean? And first of all, I was angry. I was angry at God. I said, why would you make me bipolar? I don't understand why. What would I do to deserve this? You know, why me? God said, well, why not you? You'll figure it out. So that's what I struggle with. The marriage was done, the tumor was gone, but I'm still bipolar. And when people say you have a mental illness, they look at you different. There's a stigma behind it. You can't just say, like, I have high blood pressure, no big deal. I do too.
I do.
Well,
I do have high blood
yeah.
pressure.
But people won't say I'm bipolar.
What?
Are you okay? Am I safe here? You know, I've had that before. It's
really?
different.
Are you safe here?
Am I safe? Are you okay?
Well, I have that. I've had that reaction with you. But it had nothing to do with you being bipolar.
Right. but when you say I have bipolar disorder, you can't just say like I have diabetes. I have a heart condition. That's medical, right?
Yeah.
Well, bipolar, like, is mental. It means you're crazy. It means you're postal. It means that if you get angry, you're gonna shoot everything up. No, does not mean that. You know, it's an illness that can be managed. It's medical. It's the same as diabetes. You know, you have to do dietary restrictions, right? Same thing with bipolar. I have to watch my mood, my sleeping habits, and my eating habits. The two triggers. If I haven't had enough rest or nothing to eat, it's gonna trigger something. It's gonna stress me. So those things I have to manage, along with medication, along with seeing my doctors and having a counselor, because you cannot avoid stress. And say, well, you're supposed to avoid stress. You can't. Life is stressful.
Yeah.
Things are going to happen. Somebody's going to cut you off. You're going to hit somebody like I did the other day. You know, and stress them out.
Work,
or people, you know, are going to tell you some stuff that's not right.
Yeah.
And they're in the wrong, but they're your boss.
Yeah.
So you got to deal with it. So you can't avoid stress. It's not avoiding it. It's managing it. So it's not avoiding your illness. It's managing your illness. It's realizing, you know what, I have this. It's a part of who I am, but it doesn't define who I am. It's a part of me.
I like that. That's a good. One of the things that I did a talk on, and I've talked a lot about, is the question, who are you? Right? Because it's an identity question. I did a whole series on identity. And identity is something that I think we have a crisis. I think a lot of people.
I agree.
A lot of people have no idea who they are.
Who they are.
And therefore they identify based on, I'm bipolar. So suddenly that becomes who they are.
Right, exactly.
Or I'm
so they act out.
Asperger's, or I'm fat.
Yeah, so they act out what they are. They let it define them.
I'm skinny.
Yeah, right. Or whatever. Right.
They let
that define them.
That define them.
Right.
Or their job.
Exactly.
So, but anyway,
that
just triggered that, because I think that's an important statement. Is it's something about what I deal with, but it's not who I am.
Right.
And I think that
it's not the whole body. It's a part of the body. It's like an arm.
Yeah.
This arm is not my whole body. It's just my arm. It's part of my body though, but it doesn't define who I am. The whole person as a whole.
But I think that is an important realization to come to work through these types of things.
Yes, exactly.
This doesn't define me.
I define me. It does not define me.
Yeah.
I control it. It does not control me.
Yeah. Like I've been laid off, and does that define me?
No.
Does it define me being unemployed? Does it define me not being able to find a job?
No.
All those things, and it all goes through your head.
Right.
And if you let it,
because you have a choice,
then it's hard to get out.
Right. Because you can let it define you. That's your choice.
Yeah.
Or you cannot.
Very important. I think that's something. Man, identity. We see that a lot these days.
A lot of people don't know who they are.
Yeah.
What they stand for. What they believe in.
And it makes you wonder if that's a mental disorder.
Could be.
Makes you wonder. So the stigma of a mental disorder. This is big.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
And earlier when you were talking about, I'm here to change the world, man. That was the thing that popped in my mind immediately is this stigma. Helping people with this stigma. Whether it's depression, whether it's bipolar disorder,
schizophrenia,
whatever it is.
Borderline personality.
And not only that, but getting people help who aren't getting help.
Exactly.
Like I did my master's thesis in theology on the best way for the church to help the poor. Yeah. So the first thing I had to do was define the different types of poor.
There you go.
Because if you can't solve all the problems the same way.
Exactly.
You know, one problem is money based, one problem is opportunity based, one problem is they need help.
Right.
Whether it's addiction or mental disorder, you know, that's untreated, it can't work.
Right.
They can't do it because there's something that prevents them mentally.
It's a chemical imbalance.
And addiction's the same.
Same way.
Same thing.
Same thing.
It causes the same issue.
It does.
Right? I can't. It's not that I don't want to. It's just I can't.
Right.
Physically can't do it. So, you know, that was one of the things, man. I was like, man, this guy could help people with that. You know, dealing with that stigma. Because we've talked about you doing like a podcast.
It is.
You know, and things
YouTube
like
videos.
This.
Yes.
So, man, that's.
I gotta pass out.
What are your thoughts on that? Have you thought about that?
Thought about what?
How, you know, is this something that you see yourself helping people with? Is dealing with mental disorders and
absolutely. It's my platform.
Yeah.
It's my thing. It's the thing I know most about. Me.
Yeah.
I live it every day. So that's my passion. That's my heart. That's my duty. That's my job. That's my platform. And yes, I have to. Who better than me?
Yeah.
Look at me. I mean, I have a master's degree. I have a very good paying job. I'm working on businesses on the side. I drive what I want to drive. You've seen my car. I'm very successful, but it's because I've been able to manage this. Okay? I did not let it defeat me or define me. You know?
Or define me.
Okay?
It's easy to beat stuff.
Yes.
But when it starts to tell you who you are.
Exactly. So that's my platform. And actually, I thank God that I'm bipolar. I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm bipolar. I wouldn't want not to be bipolar because I can do some amazing things. I can reach people. I mean, Winston Churchill was bipolar. He ran the entire country of Great Britain. I look up to him.
During its toughest time.
During his toughest time. And he had a mental illness. He ran an entire country at the worst possible time. All things are possible.
And most people say he was the right man for the right job at the right time. And there was probably reasons why he wasn't successful prior to that.
Exactly. So that's what I'm here for.
Interesting.
For everybody that has a mental illness, everyone who knows someone with a mental illness, people are walking around who are not diagnosed like me. They're not getting treatment. They're not getting taken care of. And their illness has controlled them and has affected everybody around them in their lives. They've probably pushed away a lot of people in their lives. And I've done that too. Because it took me a while to get a grip of this. You know, I've ruined relationships with people or anything because I let it get the best of me. But I didn't give up. I kept taking my medication. If that didn't work, find another medication, another doctor, another counselor, whatever it is. Self-talk, self-help, motivation, my spirituality with God. All that has helped me. And it's all together. It's an umbrella. Not one thing works. It's all of it together that works. So it's more than one thing that I do. A doctor, you go to a psychiatrist, they're going to give you pills. But the pill is not the answer because there's no cure. Okay? The pill helps with the chemical imbalance, but it doesn't cure the disease. It keeps you in here, within the margin, so you don't get outside the margin, but you still have the ups and downs. Those don't go away, so you got to deal with those. So this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. These past 20 years have got me ready for this moment. And going forward, these next 20 years, I want to help as many people as I can. Because there are a lot of people out there who have mental illness or have been touched with someone who has mental illness. And I can help anyone. Almost everybody knows somebody that has a mental illness. Almost everybody does. So I can help everybody. People who actually have it and people who know someone have it.
Yeah.
I mean, because I can relate.
And it's a big thing. And a lot of it too, like what we talked about, is the stigma. We don't like to say it. We don't. And it's like if your kids,
What if your kids are bipolar?
or
What do you?
bipolar or have depression,
What
and
do you do?
tell people, and it's like, oh gosh,
Yeah.
and you're worried you're going to get those types of responses and
So
things like that.
that's why I want to lift. I want to erase that. So that's why I tell everybody that I'm bipolar, that I suffer with bipolar disorder. I live with it. The better way of saying it is I live with bipolar disorder. Because not only am I surviving, I'm thriving. There's a difference in just surviving to staying afloat above water. I'm actually swimming with this.
Yeah. I'll say that again. I live with
Bipolar.
Bipolar
I'm living with bipolar
I'm
disorder.
living with bipolar disorder. Listen to that. Listen to how he says that. I did a podcast on I am statements.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I say is you got to be careful with I am statements, because people with bipolar disorder will say, I am bipolar.
No.
That's
not correct.
It's not who you are.
Exactly.
It's something you have.
Right.
Something you live with.
There you go.
It's something you've been diagnosed with. It's a mental disease, mental disorder, whatever you want to call it, but it's not you. It's not an I am statement.
Exactly.
It's an I have statement.
Exactly. There's a big difference.
Yes.
Yeah, because one of them, you define it, the other one defines you.
Yes.
You're in control of your life. You define who you want to be. You live with this. I live with high blood pressure. I live with bipolar disorder, but I live.
Yeah.
The big difference.
Yeah. I like that. That's a good way to put it. And that's something I think people really need to... Man, I didn't know this was going to turn into an identity crisis discussion, but man, that's something that those I am statements, you hear them all the time from people.
Powerful.
All the time, and they do. They end up defining you because you say it so often. I am an engineer, I am an engineer, I am an engineer. And suddenly you become an engineer, and then you lose your engineering job, and what are you now?
Because you let the job, the position define you.
Yeah.
So now what are you left with?
I have a theory.
Uh-huh.
Of course, you know this. That's how I got that 100 on
Okay.
physics. I'm good at theory.
Yes, you are.
Theoretical
I just
stuff.
found that out, how you
Right?
got that. That was a secret
Yeah.
you kept for 30 years. Now I figured out how you got 100.
Yeah, theories are good because he couldn't prove it wrong. So what's he gonna do, right?
Exactly.
But anyway, I have this theory that we see a lot of, and we see this a lot now, even where there's kids not moving on, not starting their own life, not going out and doing
Not
their own thing,
Launching. Failure to launch.
That's right. And I'm not talking about I had to come back home because something happened.
Right, no, not that.
I'm regrouping. I'm not talking about that.
No.
I'm talking about people who are just
Never left.
never left.
Difference, big difference.
And it's my theory is that it's because their parents made I am statements. I am a parent. I am a parent. I am a parent. I am a mother. I am a father. And that defines them so much that they can't let their kids go. They never trained their kids
To go. True.
And that's, and it's a theory. It may not be true, but I think it is. But it's one of those things where when you let those things define you, it's so hard to let go of it. Not only is it hard to let go of now, but it's hard to change. Because
that's true.
it's like, without it, who am I?
But that's exactly true. So what you're talking about is something that I've been working on these past week or 2 weeks. I've told some people in my life that I've let go of all attachments. My jiu-jitsu instructor Roy can too. He said he don't have any attachments either. So you can't be attached to nouns. Nouns are people, places, and things. You cannot be attached to your job because you lose your job. What do you have left? Nothing. You cannot be attached to a car because the car gets wrecked or totaled. What do you have? Nothing. You cannot be attached to a person because if that person is taken out of your life, if they die again in a car accident or something happens to them or whatever, they walk out, what are you left with? You cannot be attached to those things because they can be taken at a moment. So those things that we're attached to define us.
Yes. when we make I am statements about them.
Exactly.
I am a husband.
So I let go of all the attachments.
I am a father.
Yeah, they're attached to that role. They're attached. So when they're no longer that husband or father, they have nothing left.
Yeah,
because they're attached.
Yeah, you become who am I now?
Right.
And that's the problem. Is they don't have a I am statement that doesn't involve these attachments.
Exactly.
So and that's another theory. That's why the CEOs who retire at 65 are dead within a year.
Yeah.
Because that defined them so much.
Right.
That when it's gone,
there's nothing left.
They're gone.
So why live?
Yeah.
My whole life is gone.
That's
so
what I was.
I'm walking dead anyway. I might as well be dead. So I just give up.
And that happens.
Yep.
Yeah. Man, that's interesting. That's something that I'm very passionate about with these identity statements, because man, I hear it all the time from people. It's just it makes me cringe. Yeah. These I am statements, and the classic I am statement, I am that I am.
Mm-hmm.
Right. If we accepted that, I am.
Yeah.
I just am. That's the end of the statement.
That's it. Period.
Man, that changes everything.
Nothing else needs to be said. I am who I am. I am.
Yep.
So a man thinketh, so a man becomes. Whatever you think you are, you will become that.
Are you turning into the Rev now?
The Rev.
I've been seeing these Rev posts. What
yeah.
What was that about? Were you Rev too?
Yeah. After I got married, my second time I got married in 2006. The day after, I went to an episode and I felt like I was called to preach. Told my uncle Alonzo about it, and he said, "Come, you need to announce your call to preach." I went to the church where I grew up. He told everybody I'm called to preach, and he brought me down to his church, licensed me as a minister, not ordained, but licensed me, and I started preaching in his church. So that's where the Reverend Dorann Jackson came from.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm ordained.
I'm not. Are you ordained?
I am.
I'm not. I'm licensed.
Ordained in the Church of the Latter-day Dude.
You're a bad boy.
The dude. I'm a dudist priest.
Wow.
Have you heard of the Latter-day Dude?
No.
It's based on. So.
Not the dude. I never heard the dude.
You've heard of the dude, the Big Lebowski?
Yeah.
The dude.
Yeah. Lebowski. Yeah.
So these people started a church, and it's a legit church, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
like
I can do weddings and stuff.
You can?
Yeah. That's crazy, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
And anyway, it's like their entire theology is the dude abides. So,
wow. I mean, you can make a religion or a church out of anything.
I know.
You can make a religion out of your shirt.
I just did it because I like the Big Lebowski. And
yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Yeah, why not?
It's
cool, right?
I'm a Dudeist priest. I can do weddings.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but I also have a master's in actual theology. So that's
you know the history.
So Rev Dorann. Rev runs the
Run. Okay, mine is Ran. RANN.
Yeah.
Because my name has 2 N's in it.
Yeah.
So there's already a Rev Run.
Yeah.
So I'm Rev Ran. He run. I ran.
You were in past tense.
There you go. Past tense with 2 N's.
I went so fast. I was past him.
I was past him. So I'm supposed to go past. I'm supposed to go past him. He runs, but I ran already. So I'm already finished. So
man. So when we talk about those attachments not being attached to nouns,
okay,
one of the big ones, and this was where, I followed you on Facebook a while back, and I'd see you post, and then it was like, Dorann must have died.
Yep.
And no one said anything.
Yep.
I get probably a car wreck, because that's what the Deadpool is on me whenever there's show up back at one of the reunions and they're like, "You still alive?"
Mm-hmm.
And but you disappeared.
Yep.
And then you reappeared.
Yep.
And like in the first reappearance, you're like, "Okay, I got out of this relationship."
Yes.
You had to let go of
an attachment.
One of those nouns, those attachments.
Yeah. People. Yep. Person.
And I think that's another thing that we get into with is a lot of times is these toxic relationships.
Yes.
And it's hard.
Yes.
because you feel like I'm here to help people, and you don't want to give up on people.
Yes.
But there comes a point where you have to understand that they're hurting you.
Yeah.
You're not helping them.
Right. They're in the water drowning, and they're actually pulling you under with them.
Yeah.
You're not pulling them out of the water. They're actually taking you in with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I had to realize.
Yeah, it's tough.
It was the hardest thing I think I've done today.
Yeah. Because you don't want to give up on people.
No, especially when you love them.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
And and it doesn't matter what type of relationship it is. It could be anything. It could be a child. It could be a parent. It could be a brother. It could be a sister.
Hmm?
It could be a friend.
Yes.
It could be a spouse. It could be all these different things.
Right.
Can be toxic.
True.
And if you're not working, if it's not working together,
right,
then it's not going to help either. It should be building both people.
Right.
And those are hard. Those are hard to break.
Very hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
And it's because you do feel like you're giving up on them.
Yeah, because you see them for who they could be instead of for who they are. Like the people I get along with best now are strangers, because strangers can only see you for that moment. They don't know your past. They don't know your future. They have no frame of reference to judge you on what you used to do. For them, they see you in the present and in the moment, and all we can control is that moment. They can't hold your past against you. People who know you, who are attached to you, know your history, they always bring up the past. Well, you did this.
Bipolar disorder.
You did this, or you're in an episode.
Yeah.
Well, they see me. They don't know if I'm in an episode or not. They're just looking at me for what they see.
Yeah.
And I love strangers because they don't judge you.
That's interesting.
I was in a very judgmental relationship. I was judged. It got to the point that I loved this person so much. I gave them so much of my time, effort, and energy, my money, my resources, everything. I gave them all of everything. They sucked it all out of me. It was never enough. And the person controlled me. You know, they knew what I liked about them, and they took advantage of that. Not maybe intentionally, but because they needed to fill a void. They're insecure, so they had a void. Their own insecurities that they're insecure about was put on me as a form of control, like an emotional abuse. Like I was in an emotionally abusing relationship where there was things that I was accepting and taking that I should have never accepted. Mm-hmm. But I overlooked because I loved them so much, and I only saw the good. You know, I only saw them for what I wanted them to be instead of who they were and how they were treating me.
And you get that, I think I can help.
Yeah. I can help her. I can help her. I can help her. I can help. I can help her change. She can be better. She will see it, you know.
Yeah.
She will take responsibility for it and make change. You cannot make someone change. They have to be willing to change. Yeah. You can give them the information. You can bring the horse to the water, but you cannot make the horse drink that water. Yeah. That's their choice.
Yeah, that's something. Man, and it's hard.
It was very hard. I was required to get off Facebook. Yeah. This person didn't want me on Facebook, so I disappeared from Facebook. I went off the grid for this person. Yeah. She said no social media, nothing. I gave up all that to be with this one person because I love them that much that I would do anything.
Yeah, I know you disappeared. I thought you died.
I went off the grid.
I just assumed it.
No, I went off the grid.
That's what happened. No offense, but it's like, Dorann died.
Yeah, basically I did. I basically died. Yeah, I forgot who I was. I lost my identity. I let this person define me of what I was, and that's not right. I define me, but I let them control me and define me.
That's something we see a lot today, is allowing others to define us.
Yes.
And we do that. One of the talks I did is on victim culture. You and I talked about victim culture.
Yes.
And I think we have that. That's a disease we have. It's a mental disorder that we have.
Yes.
In our country. I think I'm doing all kinds of theories tonight. Maybe you're bringing out maybe that's how I got that 100. I was sitting right next to you, and I'm like, man, Dorann, put your head right here. I got a new theory.
Yeah.
But no, I got this theory that the reason why you see all this stuff that says we have it so bad and all these problems in America is because we actually feel guilty that we don't actually have any real problems in America. I mean, yeah, there's problems. Okay, it's not perfect.
Right.
It's never going to be because people.
Yeah.
But you go to other countries,
Man.
we don't have the problems.
No,
they
we
have.
don't. No, they don't.
And this is even other developed countries, whatever
True.
word you use.
Yeah.
We don't have the problems they have.
No, they don't.
So we create them
We create them.
so that we don't feel guilty for not having them.
Exactly.
Instead of helping them fix it.
There you go.
Because it's easier to feel bad. It's easier to feel like a victim than it is to say, let's do this.
Right.
We can help.
Yeah, it's easier to find somebody to blame
Yes.
than to take responsibility for
ourselves.
Yeah, and in that relationship, I got
And
blamed.
it's easy to get lost in it.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
It's not necessarily something that we do intentionally. I'm not saying that we're doing it intentionally, but it's easy. It's like I got this thing right here,
Right.
called shingles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of, it hurts a lot sometimes. Like I just got stabbed.
Right. Just got stabbed fresh.
But at the same time, I kind of like having it because I can get sympathy, even from my wife.
There you go. It's like, what's in it for me?
Because she has shingles, and she's like, it hurt worse than child labor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it hurt. I mean, even when it hurts, it's like, oh, it hurts way worse than it actually.
Yeah.
Because
you milk it a little bit.
It kind of feels good
to get the attention, right?
Yeah.
Well, everybody wants attention.
People feel bad for you.
Yeah.
You get
everybody wants a little sympathy and a little attention.
It's easy to fall into it.
Yeah. It's a trap.
And get lost in it. I think that's kind of where we are. We're kind of lost in it.
Yeah.
Instead of just, no, I own this.
Right. Yeah.
I own this.
That's right.
You don't define me.
Exactly.
I do.
Exactly.
You don't tell me who I am. I do.
Amen.
You don't tell me what problems I have.
Right.
I tell you what problems I have.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't have it.
There you go.
Because I'm going to beat it.
There you go. Yeah, you're gonna solve it.
Yeah.
You're a problem solver. So when you're a problem solver, what does God give you? More problems to solve, and you solve those, and He gives you more.
Yeah.
And
that's all you're gonna ever have is problems.
So because you solve them,
it's life.
It's life. So it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
What does that statement mean? It is what it is. What does that mean? Everybody says that, but nobody knows what it means, right? It's the things you can't change.
There's things I can't change.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
It
is what if it is what it is. I can't change it.
Yeah.
You know, it's dark outside. I can't make it light.
I can't. Yeah.
It is what it is. So those things I can't
worry about. I can turn the light on.
Inside.
I still can't make it light outside.
Yeah. So you can't do anything. So
it is the sun on.
It is what it is. It's dark, and there ain't nothing I can do about that. So let's move on to something else that I can do something about.
Yes.
That's it.
That I think is a key that we've lost. Is what does that mean? What does that statement mean? We say it is what it is to me. It is what it is.
Can't do nothing.
And I've seen that so much. It is what it is.
Yep. They don't even know what that means.
What are you gonna do? Nothing. I do anything. What it means is there's certain things I can't change. Like you said, it's dark outside. I can't change that.
Right.
I can't make the sun come up.
Nope.
I can't make the clouds go away.
Nope.
I can't. Some people think they can. Well, they think they're God, but that's a different discussion.
Right. Let me know how that's working for them.
Yeah, how's that working for you? Put a lightning bolt up my ass. Go ahead. So anyway, when in coaching, that's one of the things we talk about is understanding what you do and do not have control over.
That's right.
And in reality, the only thing you have control over is you.
That's it.
How you act
or react.
And react.
That's it.
And that's it. Everything else is an illusion.
That's right.
I have control of this cup right now.
Right.
But if this chair breaks, because it exceeded the IKEA weight limit.
Mm-hmm.
I no longer am going to have control of this cup.
Exactly.
There's going to be water all over me.
Right.
It's an illusion. It's temporary.
Temporary, right?
But we can put things in place to help do it. To help keep things in order. But we don't have control.
No.
Things are going to come along and mess it up.
We really don't own anything here.
No.
You know what? Because I put on Facebook today, we're all renting. Because none of the stuff that I have, I can't take any of it with me. So it's really not mine. It's mine to enjoy. It's like a lease. Yeah. You know, it's like a lease for a term. When my term is over, I get my lease back and it goes somewhere else, and I go somewhere else. But I can't take this with me, so I'm just leasing it. I'm just enjoying it while I have it. Yeah. It's not mine because I can't take it with me.
And all those attachments are like that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Even people.
Even people.
I can't take them with me. One day
they're gonna go, or me, I'm gonna go. Somebody's gonna go.
Because we might see each other on the other side.
Right, but we're born in this life to die.
As long as we're all going to hell.
You know, and they need ice water. So go get me a cup.
Here's your cups. $15.95. I wonder if I can get that. Anyway. But yeah, those are things that, man, those letting people go is hard, and
that's the hardest thing. People.
It's letting house go, letting cars go, letting
things, places,
stuff go.
Yeah, that's easy, but people, that's the hardest thing. Yeah, that's harder than pulling teeth. Yeah, I had a tooth pull the other day. I had to let that one go. I had never had my teeth pulled, and I was holding on as one of my attachments. Yeah. My teeth. I was just holding on to them. So I don't want you to pull my tooth. But that tooth is killing you. You can't even see it when I smile. But it's gone. Yeah. But it was killing me. They say you gotta let go of this tooth. I had to let go. That's like one of the last attachments I had to let go was a tooth out of my mouth.
Yeah, I went to the dentist Monday for cleaning, and I got this gold tooth I've had for, I don't know, almost 40 years, right?
Really? Wow.
And she's like, normally we redo them every 10 to 15 years, and the crown is separating from the tooth, and all this. I'm like, okay. So then they're like, your part is $800. I said, for $800, you can pull it out. I ain't fixing it. Right. I ain't attached to it. It had a root canal.
There you go.
It's dead already.
Right.
I don't care if the bacteria eats it all up. Just take it out of my head.
Take it out of your head.
I don't need it.
Get rid of it. Isn't doing you no purpose.
Yeah, it's not hurting me.
It's not hurting.
And it's not going to hurt me if it goes away.
Exactly.
And it's hard though.
It's an attachment.
Like letting my bats go, man, that would hurt.
You're attached.
That would hurt. Especially the ones with my name on it.
Oh, you got some with your name on it too? Oh, those are the best ones.
I might have to use that on someone they try to take my name. But no, it's stuff.
Yeah, you're not totally free until you're unattached to everything. That's when you're free. Yeah, that's freedom. That's the definition of freedom, is being unattached. You're free floating. You're not attached to anything. You're just yourself. Yeah, and you're not attached. Things can come and go out of your life. It doesn't change who you are, because you are complete within yourself. You are free. You're a freestanding being that's not attached to anything. Yep. You love the things that come into your life, and you love them on their way out.
Yeah, that's one of the lessons I've been taught over the years. And it's what I've found is when I look back in history on the times when things were really tight, whether it was I was laid off or I was looking for customers or whatever it was, there was things I'd gotten attached to. That's right. And it was one of those where I had to learn to let it go. I had to learn to accept that this house, I love it. It's a place I live. Yep. But at the same time, it's a place I live.
That's it. What if it were to burn down one day?
Yeah. I did get that call earlier this week. Man, it's been a rough week, dude. My son had a wreck. Got shingles. I get this message from my daughter. This thing's making noise. What is it? And it smells like burning plastic.
Oh my God. What's burning?
Is the house burning down now?
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
It was just the doorbell had been, the button got stuck, so the contacts were energized, but she's also got PTSD from our old house where the fan in the bathroom caught on fire.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I burned down a garage. Almost burned down a garage. My first barbecue.
Oh,
in my house.
That's cool.
Yeah. I had to put that one out.
That's exciting, man.
Yeah.
So now you're working. You mentioned you're doing some businesses. You've got. Okay, you tell me because there's
a lot.
There's a lot.
So,
okay. So tell me everything you're working on.
All right. So I'm a medical technologist at MD Anderson. That's my day job, my full-time job. Plan on retiring there when I'm 67. So I got 20 more years there. But it's the side things that I'm doing now. I got introduced to this IML. It's Internet Market Live. iMarkets Live. It's a trading business, which is a network marketing business. It's got two pieces to it, where you trade foreign currencies in the world market, and you recruit people underneath you into your network, and they do the same. You get paid actively for your personal trades that you do with your own money, that you profit from or loss through your trading. Then people that you recruit, you bring in a certain number of people and have them bring in 3 people, and so forth. You develop your network. Then there's different levels, and you get paid passive income from that. So there's 2 forms of income: a passive and an active. So that's iMarkets Live. That's one of the things I started doing. And when I did that, it opened it up for everything else that I want to do, because I started getting with people that have business minds. Mm-hmm. A lot of people that I was introduced to, they have their own businesses. They don't work like me. They just run businesses. And I started picking their brains, and my ideas about my businesses started coming back. I had developed this promotions company back in 2014 when I was doing work with the homeless in Herman Park. The way I introduced myself to them was I bought like 100 cheeseburgers, 100 fries, and I fed them one day. And they always remember that the homeless, the hamburgers for the homeless. People have done that around the country, but I did it here in Houston, in Herman Park. And I created this promotions firm when I was working at this club called Drink Houston, where I was a promoter for a little bit. I dance. I'm a dancer now. I've taught myself how to dance. That's my passion. That's what I do. So I'm a hype man. I can bring everybody on the dance floor and get them all to dance. So why not just do this for myself? So I created the cards, went to the courthouse, got the business license, everything. Started as a nonprofit. I don't know what I was thinking back then, but it was a nonprofit. I didn't do anything with it. When they laid me off at the Drink Houston, they said they don't need you to promote anymore, I stopped. Now, 5 years later, I revamped it, brought it back. I still have the business name. Went down to the courthouse and changed it and withdrew the nonprofit status and made it sole proprietorship. So it's my own firm, and I promote whatever your talent is. Whether you sing, dance, rap, cook, whatever you do, I do the marketing for you. I get your name out there. I blow you up, make you famous, whatever, get you customers. And I work on a retainer, like an attorney.
Okay.
I get paid for my time. That's it. So I just started this. I got 2 artists that are in Bay City that want to sign. So I got them on tow. I got an R&B singer. He wants to sign later. He wants to get started. And there's some other things in the works. So that's my promotions business. That's my also the IML, the trading business. Also, through my promotions business, I have my own YouTube channel, Dorann Promotions, where I put on dance videos. I'm gonna create another channel for working out, because I look like I work out a little bit. So I'm gonna put some workouts.
Your arms are a little bigger than they were in high school.
Yeah, about big as your leg.
Yeah.
You work your calf at least, not your thigh, but the calf.
You're gonna have to. You have to work out a little bit more.
There you go. There you go. So I'm gonna put some workout videos on YouTube. I'm gonna create a separate channel for my fitness stuff, and one for my promotions and my dancing. I'm gonna do a podcast like what you have, and talk about real life topics. I'm gonna call it real talk with Rev Rand. That's me. Just any topic, one topic a week. Okay, this week we're talking about anything from basketball, because I love basketball. Anything to toxic relationships, to dealing with management at work, whatever people are dealing with. I'm going to talk about that week.
Yeah.
So I'll just take ideas from Facebook. I do everything on Facebook. So what topic y'all want to hear about this week? And just brainstorm, and I'll come up with a topic, and I'll work on it all week, and I'll launch it that week, and we'll go from there. So I want to do the podcast, the YouTube channel, get sponsors, get sponsorship, and start getting paid for what I'm doing. I want to keep posting. I'm going to get a social media manager to manage my social media accounts, to take some things off of my plate, because I'm busy. I got a lot of stuff going on. I got the promotions, I got the dancing, I got the trading, the Forex trading. Also, I want to write a book. All this stuff. Yeah, that's on toe.
Do you have a topic or?
No, my first book's gonna be my autobiography.
Okay.
I'm gonna write about my life. That's the first book.
You know, one of the things that I've learned doing this, and it's taken me a long time to learn this, is you, this guy who no one really knows, has an interesting story to tell.
That's it.
And it's I've only done a few of these with interviews and stuff, but I've talked to people over the years, and we don't think that. We don't think I have an interesting story to tell about ourselves.
I do now.
But we do.
I do now. I know I do.
And I think more of us do than we realize.
True. Everybody has a story.
We all have a story, and they're more interesting than we think because we live it every day.
So there's no
we
big
live
deal.
through all the boring stuff. But a book is the highlights.
There you go.
So I like that.
Yeah, and I have my business mentor who couldn't be here today. I don't know. She's very busy. She told me how to write a book in 10 weeks. It's easy. Take your cell phone, record yourself for an hour a week for 10 weeks. Go get it transcribed, go get it edited, and you got a book basically, just like that. It's very
you're not, and the thing too with a lot of this that people don't really, when they think of a book, they think of this terribly hard thing to do. And I went to this webinar last week, and that was one of the things she talked about, was writing a book. And she goes, most people don't realize it, but they could put a book together in about 2 weeks just from stuff they've already written, whether it's blog posts or emails they've sent or papers they've written or white papers they've shared or Facebook posts or whatever it is.
Yep.
They've got a book.
That's true.
And one of the things she talked about too, and I think this is what a lot of people get hung up on, is they think they got to write War and Peace. And the reality in today's world is people have a very short attention span.
Yep.
Even those of us who didn't used to have a short attention span or don't have ADD or ADHD or any ADD, damn, whatever the D's are, how many ever D's are, and we have trouble. Man, I've got 6 books on my headboard that I've got halfway through before I got distracted by another book. That happens to me too. Because it's like it's too damn long,
right?
And it's like, get to the point already. And but we don't think 100 pages, 150 pages, or short, small book like a handbook, and you publish on Amazon. Done.
That's it. Simple. Keep it simple.
I like that. That'll be good. So that's a lot, man. You got a lot going on.
Yeah, and I actually wrote it all down.
I hope so.
Yeah, because there's no way I could remember everything.
No, you were going through the list. I forgot half of it already.
Yeah, I mean,
It's been 37 seconds. See, that's that short attention span.
Very short. Very short.
That's why I focus on theory.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot to remember. But like, I want to do public speaking. But in order for me to do public speaking, I gotta gain a fan base, followers. So people gotta know who I am. Right now, if I walk into a place, I want to speak. Who are you?
What do you want to speak on? Just different topics or
mental illness?
That's what I was just thinking.
Mental illness.
And we connected.
We are.
We're connected.
Give
me some more theories.
Yeah, we are connected.
I'm getting them now. I like it.
Yeah, public speaking is one of them.
Yeah, and I think that's a good topic because,
yeah,
especially as you're doing all this stuff, when you think about it, because I live with this, but it doesn't stop me from doing this.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't define who I am.
Amen. Yeah, I define it. It does not define me.
I like it.
I determine what part it plays in my life because I control it, because it does not control me.
I like it.
That's right.
Well, man, you look like you're getting a little tired, and I know you got driving. I know you wrecked last week because you were sleeping.
All right, man.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed it.
I did too.
You got a lot to share.
I will.
And I think we're gonna have to have you back sometime. See
have
how
me
things
back.
are going.
Yeah, have me back. Have me got to come back.
And then let me know when you do yours. Maybe I'll come on your podcast.
Yeah, I need you to just tell everybody how you got that 100. Trying to figure it out. I want Mr. Kineza. He's still living. I want to see this.
So you're gonna go find it? Yeah, yeah. All right, this is the coach wishing you a great day, and may God bless you.